I'm Anne Marie,
And I'm Mylette. And this is the new normal.
and we're going to talk about dating and relationships and intimacy. Hmm. So, I'm going to just say it. Divorce is hard. Divorce after cancer is extremely hard. It's hard to get back into feeling like you want to even go out and try to date somebody, or how do you even approach that? I haven't dated anyone in 20 plus years. I don't even know what to do, how to do. So that's why I got a girlfriend like you. What do I do? Do I tell them up front? Do I not tell them up front? Do I hold back?
I think it's really difficult. I think it really depends on the situation. It's not something I necessarily lead with and not something I have on my profile.
Oh, she's got a profile.
I do.
Do tell. So you don't tell them, because I've had a couple situations where I've just came out and said it, and within a couple messages, they be gone. I get it. It's a lot, and it's heavy, and it's intense, and I am a Google search. But that shouldn't be held against me in any way. Sharing our story has been great and therapeutic for us, but now I'm in this new phase where I'm trying to date, and it's really hard because I don't know what to tell somebody. Do I lead with, and I don't have nipples? Do I?
Oh man.
Because I don't have nipples.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I have so many questions around that in terms of what do you do when you get to that intimacy part?
We could talk about that in a couple of minutes. Let me finish this drink.
Yeah. So, in terms of dating and what to say, and you're talking about being, just a Google search away basically. It's the same thing with me. And so on these profiles, I can't even put my name because if they search me, it's all of this I had cancer comes up. So I just put my initials and I leave it at that. And then it's not until after the actual date that then I'll say what my full name is. And then I'm like, okay, now you can Google me and then you can find out more information about me. But by that time, at the end of the night, at some point I would have said that I had cancer and take it from there.
I guess I need to maybe try a little bit of both. You know what I mean? Because, I've had someone Google me and then completely ghost me afterwards. And like I said, I understand it's a lot.
How dare you do that to Anne-Marie? This is a freaking fantastic woman. You don't even know the half of it.
Well, same with you. We've been through a lot, but it made us who we are now. And I think that is sometimes intimidating, whether you're dating a man or a woman, to have someone who's been through so much. You may not understand it. It may be, intimidating a little bit.
I think so.
And you don't really know what you're getting into because, quite frankly, I don't want something heavy, but I don't want something loose either. And that brings up a whole nother host of issues because it took me a long time to get where I am in that sexual feeling and feeling sexy again and being okay with my body. And it will probably take one hardcore rejection to backtrack me a little bit. And that's scary. That is really freaking scary.
Yeah.
To put yourself out there like that.
I know. I'm afraid of that. Especially, as for some of us, and you as well, cancer puts us into early menopause.
Oh, hell yeah. Early, I call it a violent shove right into menopause. It was, hold on, let me shove you off the cliff now. I woke up and my hormones were changed. I was having hot flashes. I didn't have a libido. I wasn't attracted to anything. Nothing aroused me. I don't have nipples for any playing around if that was something that, turned somebody on. And drier than dry. Thank you for removing every hormone in my body. That's hard. And how do you explain that to somebody? And your partner, whether you're married, whether you're not married, that plays into it when you can't get aroused by them. You still love them and may want to be with them, but you don't have that desire because your libido is so stifled and your body is not reacting to, being sexually aroused. And I don't just mean women being dry. Let's be real. If you've had any sort of cancer and you're male, you do lose your erection. Let's call it ED.
Yes.
You know, just like for a man, it must be for them embarrassing.
Yeah.
Their macho, their masculinity is affected by it. For women, it's the same way. Like that's your femininity. That's where you feel like a woman and you feel like you can not just pleasure your partner, but pleasure yourself. And that's all gone. And how do you bring that up on a date? Obviously not the first date because I'd be paying that bill, I'm sure. But as it goes on, you're dating someone, you might like them, and you get to that point, what the hell do you do? Because their rejection is going to affect you.
Yeah, so what do you even do in preparation? So even before you're out on the date, right?
You need lots of lubricant, to be quite honest.
Yeah, and let's actually go into that. So what do you for us ladies?
All the ladies in the house. Sorry.
Like what do you do? I've heard coconut oil.
Coconut oil is great. I mean, you have to try to find a lubricant that is natural and doesn't really have any estrogen in it or a hormone releaser, which is hard to do because, you know, most of them do. That's what ignites your sensitivity. But you have to find one. Coconut oil is great because it's natural and doesn't taste so bad, if you get what I'm saying. I think the other part to it is before you get to that part, you have to get to know your body again. You know, maybe your nipples were your excitement, or you liked having your testicles played with your balls, however you guys say it, and now you're missing one because you had testicular cancer. You have to find ways again to get excited, and the only way to really do that is to explore yourself so that you can then explain it to your partner and say, hey, here's my roadmap. Want to go for a ride?
So you mentioned testicular cancer, one testicle. Would that actually have any effect on, like, if you were with someone that?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I feel like that. I don't know.
And I don't think it's just because I had cancer. Like, I really don't care. As long as the other parts are working and you're doing your job, we good.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think so. Any guys out there, like, just FYI, I don't think we really care. Maybe other women might, but I don't think we care.
No, and it's not, I mean, intimacy isn't just about intercourse. I mean, there are lots of playful ways to, you know, have fun with your partner and, you know, reach that orgasm. You know, you got to put in the work to get there. What might, you know, someone previously might have been able to orgasm in 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I don't know about how many minute men are out there, minute women are out there, but it might have been quick. And now it may take 25 minutes of foreplay before you can even get to that point. That's okay. Like, we don't have to rush everything. Take time and get to know your body and tell your partner exactly what you want and need, because this isn't like, you know, a bill you got to pay. Like, wants and needs are good here. You should really kind of play with both of them. Your partner, what they need is going to help you get what you need, and wants could be fun.
I would say that, and I, you know, you said the 1 minute man, but maybe women too. I am definitely not a 1 minute or maybe even a 5 minute.
No. You got to put in the work.
Exactly.
Work it, baby, work it.
But I think that was even before cancer too.
Well, I mean, you know, stereotypically, most women do take a little bit longer to reach that point.
Yeah. Yeah. So guys, FYI.
But you know, this is actually important. Like, letting a guy know that, like, hey, we gotta play around a little bit more before we can get to that point. Just like the guy who ghosted me. Like, I'd actually love to actually say to him, what made you ghost me? I don't care that you did, and I understand that it's all heavy, but tell me, because I want to learn from that. You know, going back into that dating world is hard, and I need advice on what is needed from the other person, not just from what I need. Like, what do you need from me? Do you not want to hear my whole story at once? Maybe I need to pull it back a little bit.
Yeah. And actually, all of these sex tech type of toys are fun to play with.
Tell me more, wise one. And I agree. And there is ways that you can do that with your partner, but again, this goes back to, you have to figure it out for yourself. If you have a toy that works for you, okay, great.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to try them out. You have to see what works. You have to see what positions and, you know, what areas are actually more sensitive.
Do you think that people don't talk about this enough because it's such a taboo topic? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of us have a drawer in our bedroom or a box under our bed, wherever you keep your little fun stuff, filled with gadgets, toys, lubricant, Coconut oil.
I will share that I did not have my toys until I would say maybe 3 years ago. 3 years ago.
Okay.
It just
So
because
because you wanted to get your sexy back, like you were trying to get yourself back, like what made you go and buy a toy for the first time?
First of all, I've always been afraid of having them.
But why? That's exactly my point.
Because I didn't know like how I would be using them, and you know, I've had relationships.
She's a little nervous right now.
But then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try this out, and it was great. And what I did was this little bit of a challenge, and I said I'm going
like
to
a plank
do this.
challenge.
Yeah, like a plank challenge. I'm going to do this for 2 weeks straight.
Do what? Play with your toys?
Yes.
Ooh.
I was going to use my toys for 2 weeks straight. No matter how exhausted I was going to do it every single night. And I did, and it was great. And first of all, it feels great, okay? Let's be real with that. It feels great. It feels good. And there's so many benefits to that too, from stress releasing.
Releases those endorphins.
Yes. A lot of positive, like actual medical positive pieces to it. And I can't quote them because, well, chemo brain, I can't remember anything.
No, I know we know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But, there's two things to what you just said that I think are really important. One being, if you're in a relationship and that person has gone through cancer or gone through something, that's actually a great challenge. Put it on your calendar for 2 weeks where you and your partner, your husband, your wife, your spouse, I don't care, whatever you call them, you fool around every night. 7 o'clock, instead of watching whatever show you guys watch on TV. It doesn't always have to lead to sex. Maybe one day you're kissing. Maybe the next day you're touching and figuring out what parts of the body are. Maybe you implement some toys into your thing. But do it for 2 weeks and see if you can get that back, because you do lose it. And like I said, both people feel like, well, he doesn't want me anymore because of X, Y, and Z, and she doesn't want me anymore because of whatever, whether it's, not being able to get it up or not being able to get wet, whatever it is. That other person is definitely feeling that. And the other part is you said that it felt good. It 100% feels good. Anyone who's had an orgasm, and God, I hope you've all had an orgasm, it feels really good. Yes. But there is a part of us as humans where we feel really guilty for making ourselves feel good. It goes with self-care. We feel guilty for self-caring. So you feel guilty that you're making yourself feel good. That's so screwed up. You should use that toy and feel really good about it and not have any guilt. It's okay to feel good.
Yes, I think part of that too is
this is an exciting conversation.
Absolutely,
sweating a little bit. Not gonna lie.
I know. I'm getting really hot here.
It's getting high. Oh, you don't know that one? Oh, thank God she knew it. Thank God.
It takes time, right? So. I think sometimes with the toy, because you're the one maneuvering it, it may be a little bit faster than if you have a partner. And so what you have to do is, the reason I like this challenge is that even if I was tired, no matter what time it was, I was going to do it because it was a challenge, right? But otherwise it's like, oh, do I want to do it? Or do I just want to go to bed right now and just go to sleep? Because that could take me another 20 minutes, 30 minutes,
right.
Whatever it may be. Sometimes maybe a little bit faster, but that takes time. So you're finding like, I'm like, so the challenge really made me like, nope, I got to do this.
Right, because you scheduled it. And that is, that's just like therapy, right? I always say that to people, schedule your therapy like you schedule a doctor's appointment, or schedule your workouts like you schedule your work appointments. Scheduling that on your calendar makes you actually say, okay, I got to take time for it. And you don't have to do it at night. You can do it in the morning. You can do it in the shower. I mean, there's lots of places you could actually do this. Let's be real.
It's not like before you get up, go to work.
And it does help you. And I think maybe that is how it can help you in the dating world, if that's where you're at, because part of it is when you go through anything like this, whether you're male or female or non-binary, I don't care what you are, you lose a sense of your self-confidence. And to gain that back that way really does empower you. Like, it almost makes you feel like, well, I don't really need to go on a date because I can control this just fine myself. However, you can add a partner to the mix,
Yeah,
is what
so I
I'm
was gonna
saying. Like, you
say.
know what I mean? Once you get to that point, then you meet someone and say, you know, this is what I have to do. I really hope that you join me.
Yeah, because like it gets to a point where you're like, okay, well, do I really need to go on a date? To what, you know? Because you can take care of yourself.
But don't you think if you remove like the sexual tension from it and the worry that you are not going to be able to please that person anymore because you don't have nipples or you don't have a testicle or you have one breast or you have a big scar across your neck. I don't know what it is. It takes that sexual tension out a little bit and maybe you could focus on just meeting someone and getting to know them without the pressure of that because you got taking care of business
Every day, right?
right.
Were that the
Yeah, you
words?
did a
Okay,
good
yeah.
job, Mom.
Oh,
I'm so
thank
proud of
you.
you. I'm so proud of you.
Yes. But then, so, okay, all right. So when you're, you're using toys,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to worry about anything else necessarily. And if you're dry, as you know, the Sahara Desert, as you've referenced several times in the past, it's kind of hard to have like intercourse. And, you know, it's like that kind of crosses my mind constantly. And I'm like, what am I going to do when I get to that point? And, I've had relationships and rekindled relationships where we go to that route and it's a little painful, and so it's like, okay, I can't quite go there.
Okay.
So I mean, we do other stuff.
Yes,
and
but
it's
do you
great,
think that that's part?
but I feel like I'm
because
broken a little.
but you're not broken. Do you think you just didn't get there enough yet? Like we just had this whole conversation about how it takes time and how you're not a minute person anymore. Maybe the fooling around and everything, the pregame, as we'll call it, the pregame part of it wasn't enough in that situation. Maybe there wasn't enough pregame. Maybe that person wasn't putting enough attention and care into what you need. And also, you were probably thinking nonstop, "Oh my God, this is so dry. Yes. This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt." That 100% takes over. It definitely does. We are not broken at all. And you know what? Even if we are a little broken, like they say, broken crayons still color. Like we can still do all of these things. But we just sat here and we just said how it takes longer. So that's all it is. It's like driving an old car, I guess. Like the car can't get up the hill the way this new sports car can. It just takes a little longer to get up that hill. Get it? Hill, climax, up to the top. I tried really hard to make a pun there, but it didn't work.
I get it. It was good.
Oh. Safe sex is good sex.
Yes, and it's lubricated. So
everybody likes a little lube.
Well, this act has become a bit more difficult for me these days. Kind of being thrown into like early menopause. It's made it difficult. And so trying to find my groove back into this realm. So.
And having to think of condoms again. For me.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't thought about condoms in a long time.
Yeah.
And now I got to think about it again. And not just for me, but for all my kids, because I make sure I send them condoms.
Oh, that's good.
Even though they can all buy them on Amazon now. Self-checkout.
That's good. Well, you know what? You're telling them it's okay to,
I ain't stupid.
So.
Okay.